Hello people. Right, bargain buys today on the new FIFA. Yes, the new FIFA. These are going to be like Premier League, La Liga, Serie A, Bundesliga players that you can buy and put them pretty much straight into your team. These aren't going to be like rating 65 that are going to develop into 80 something. These are players that you can buy, put them in your team and get them to do the job that you want them to do straight away. So proper bargain buys basically. Some you might not agree with, some you might think, oh, that's not a bad shout, but to me these are all bargain buys. Some are more expensive than others, obviously, football. Well, let's get into it and start off with the goalkeeper for each position. So goalkeeper first. Now this one's going to be controversial. Jack Butland. Sadly, his career has taken a massive nosedive in real life, but in this game, even though he's rated 73, he's not a bad keeper still. 27 years old, so he's got some years. He can still develop a little bit if you develop him slightly and play him a lot. And his stats aren't that bad, considering he's a 73 rating. As you can see, diving's not bad. His reflex, it's average. It's not like top range. Oh, what a brilliant! It's not. But for 73 overall, those are good stats. And the reason he's a bargain is that's why 2.7 mil. You can, and I mean, you can sign him for probably 3 million at the most. His wages for a championship team, it's a tad high, I suppose. But for me, that he's a bargain buy because of his price more than anything, and his stats really are not that bad. He could go straight into your team and do your job as a goalkeeper. If you've got a low end budget and you want a decent goalkeeper, he is perfect to buy. Absolutely perfect. It's going to be a controversial one, I understand that, but he's not a bad keeper on this game for a 73 overall and for a 2.7 million. Come on, that's a bargain. And if you want a backup keeper, even better. I mean, come on. Perfect. He's a bargain buy, in my opinion. Now to the right back, Uranus Svenson. A lot of you probably won't have a clue who this guy is, but he is a bargain. Absolute bargain. 78 overall, pretty good. Let's be honest. 27 could develop a bit more. Could go to 79, maybe 80. It's not bad, that really. He's got a bit of pace for it going with him. Attacking wise, he's pretty decent. I mean, that stamp's brilliant. He's got strength to go with that, pace to go with that, balance. I mean, hello. And then going forward as well, he's not massively attacking right back, but he's not bad. He could do a job, and defensively, he's pretty solid too. And 78 overall, I don't think that's that bad. Everything is pretty much green on his stats, as you can see. Everything you need. Heading's a bit low, I would probably say, for a right back, but it's not that important anymore on right backs, let's be honest. And then on top of that, he's worth 13 mil. His wage is pretty much nothing for a Premier League team, La Liga team, Serie A team, etc, etc. And even better, he's got 12 months left on his contract. So you could sign that guy for about 10 million. I would say maybe 11, but you could get him cheap. Cheaper than his value anyway. And for 10 million, I think that's a brilliant signing. Like I said, his wage is pretty low. He's got 12 months left on his contract. So you were going to get him cheaper because he's got 12 months left. And his stats are good. He's a bargain buy. He has to be a bargain. I mean, he can be an attacking wing back or a defensive right back. It's up to you how you want to use him. He can do either. This guy is a bargain buy. Absolute brilliant player, I think. And yes, in some of my careers, I have already brought him, and he does a brilliant job. Brilliant signing if you want to get him. If you need a right back, get that guy, Uranus Svenson. Now for the left back. This one again might be controversial. This guy's a forgotten man. When he signed for Chelsea, he was supposed to be the next big left back, and he's kind of forgotten man. But for a forgotten man, he's not bad. 75 overall, can go into most Premier League teams. Obviously not the top 6, yada yada yada. But even still, backup left back, perfect for a backup left back. A little bit of pace. It's not bad on pace. Interceptions is a tad low, but pace wise he's pretty good. Strength's a bit low, not massive issue as a fullback. Control, dribbling, crossing, he can tackle. Overall he's pretty good. He's not amazing, but he's not bad either. I think he's a great signing. His weak foot's a bit bad. His work rate's quite good. He's only 26 as well, so he's going to develop even more. He's got some years left. You could get that guy close to the 80s, and he's only 6 mil. I mean, come on, 6 million in football nowadays. Hello, for a 75 overall for a 26-year-old, 6 million. Bargain. Wage is a bit high, but that's because he's at Chelsea. But if you buy him, you'll definitely think. I think you'll definitely be able to get his wage lower. I can't see why that's not a bargain. 6 million quid for a 75 overall rated 26-year-old left back. Bargain. It's got a bit of pace. That's what you want as a fullback nowadays. Bit of pace. Now to the centre backs. First, Ben Mee. Solid, absolutely solid. 30 years of age, pushed it. So high end of the age scale. 79 overall, but he is solid. Strength's not bad. Look at that jumping. Interceptions is very good. Aggression, what you need for a centre back. Awareness. He's above average, easily above average on all of his stats when it comes to defending. He's not a ball playing defender, sadly. He's not one of those that you could pass out from the back with, but he's solid. If you want a man to like control the back four, be solid at the back, he's your man. For that price, 30 mil. And another guy that's got 12 months left on his contract. Wages are a tad high for a Burnley player. I'd say that's quite high actually. But he's got 12 months left, so you could get him cheaper. Maybe 10 million, age of 30, you'd probably get him for about 10 million. And he's honestly absolutely solid. Look at his work rate as well. Him at the back is brilliant. Everything you need is a centre back, really. Absolutely solid. I know I've said it a few times, but he's really solid. And for 10 mil, absolutely worth it. You could easily get him for 10 mil, I would say. Absolutely worth it. Another centre back, Tomori. On my game, he's been brought by Leon. I wasn't quick enough to get this done, but is it Chelsea? And at Chelsea, he's another guy that's got 12 months left on his contract. So bonus there. And he has pretty much got everything. He's 22, so he's definitely going to get better. He's going to develop brilliantly. But he's got pace. He's strong. He's got pace. He's got everything. He could tackle, win headers. He's actually one of the biggest bargains on the game, honestly. 76 overall, you think it's a bit low, but for his stats, 76 is brilliant. He's quick. Like I said, he's quick, he's strong, he can tackle. He's got 12 months left on his contract. He's worth 14 million at Lyon. They've just signed him. I think at Chelsea he's worth about the same, but he's got 12 months left on his contract, so you can get him for like 12 million. For a man that's going to develop into probably an 85 plus player. Who's quick. 6'1", that's good. His work rate's medium. I mean, you'd like defence to be high, but here's what it is. Weak foot 4. All round, he's brilliant. He is top bargain. He's one of the bargains of the game. If you've got 10, 12 million to spare, get him. because he will develop even more, and he's got pretty much everything as a defender. Now to the centre mids. I could have chosen a load for these. So this was, centre mids was a bit harder to choose from, I'll be honest. And this is one guy that I chose because, again, he has got almost everything you would want as a centre mid. I mean, let's start with that. The weak foot, 4, brilliant. Work rate, average, fine, great. 75 overall, 23-year-old. Tiny bit of pace, not a lot at all really, but he's got a tiny bit of pace. But he's only 23, so you could develop that if you wanted to. Tiny bit of stamp, which is what you want. He's got vision, composure. He's got aggression to go with all of that. Ball control, dribbling. He could pass. And if you want him to, he can stick his foot in a little bit. So, depending what kind of centre mid you want. If you want a defensive centre mid, you could develop this guy easily into a defensive centre mid. He's at the start of that, and he will develop even more because he's 23-year-old. If you want to develop him into a defensive midfielder, perfect. If you want to develop him into a slightly attacking midfielder, perfect. Because his dribbling and ball control is already there, so that's only going to get better as well. If you want him to be a playmaker, his passing, 79, it's already there. He could develop into whatever player you want him to be, because the stats are already there at the beginning, and it'll only get better if you develop the right stats you want him to be, basically. And on top of that, he's only worth 7.5 mil. You can buy him, and I know for facts I've brought him loads of times for 8 million. Bargain, absolute bargain. And if you're a club like Man City, Chelsea, Man U, yada yada yada, perfect backup. Absolutely perfect as a backup. He can develop into any type of midfielder you want. That is why he is a bargain, and he's only worth 7.5 million. Now for the other centre mid, I know what you're thinking. He's going to be expensive. Slightly expensive, yes, 20 million. But I will tell you why he's a bargain. 20 million for a player that has got everything. And I mean everything. He can tackle, he can pass, he can go around, play. Whatever you want this guy to do, he can do it. He's got everything. Look at that, ball control and dribbling. Not bad. Defensive awareness is up there. Tackling's up there, passing's up there. All of that tells you that, look, he's got flair while being, I mean, they can pass. I mean, free kicks as well if you want. His weak foot's 4. He's not exactly short. If you want a player that could do everything in the midfield, he's your guy. Think of a Paul Pogba, basically. Paul Pogba can do pretty much everything, let's be honest. He's one of those players that will put his foot in, but at the same time can create and go forward and all sorts. Same kind of player right here, except he's not going to cost you hundreds of millions. He's going to cost you about probably low 20s, 20 mils. Wage is a tad high, but if you're a lower club, you could probably get him 50 grand a week, something like that. He's only 26, so another player that's going to get better. He's got everything, trust me. Well, you can see it for yourselves. It's all in the stats. If you want a player that could do everything, he's the player to buy, which is why he's a bargain. For low ends of 20 mil, a player that could do everything, that's why he's a bargain. He's still a centre mid, but more of a defensive centre mid, basically. 77 overall, only 24. So he will develop, and I know for a fact he develops into the 80s. I got him on one of my careers up to 84, and he still hadn't finished then. His work rate's brilliant, and for a defensive midfielder, he's got all the stats you need. Every stat for a defensive midfielder on here is in green. The high ends of the green. Stam, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Aggression, what you need for a defensive midfielder. Interceptions is up there. And on top of that, he's got a little bit of pace. And he can pass. He can pass a little bit. which is, if you're one of those people that like to do the Man City way, the Liverpool way, the Barca way, he'll be perfect in the middle of your midfield, sitting there, picking the ball up, spraying passes, and on top of that he'll sweep up. He is a bargain, and he's only worth 15 million. To the left bid, Christian Teo was at Barca, tipped to be the next big star and all this stuff. Didn't quite work out, but still a very good player. And an absolute bargain on here. 78 overall. Pretty good, let's be honest. Weak foot, good. Work rate, not bad. Rapid. He is so quick, people, honestly. He's more of a winger. I don't know why they've put left mid. He's more of a winger to me. He's very quick. Dribbling and ball control is good. He is a bargain winger, left mid, whatever you want to call him. And that's why. 12.5 million for a 78 overall guy that is really quick, really quick, could go around people, and I mean, what I honestly don't really know what more to say. He's 12.5 million, 78 overall, really quick, brilliant dribbling, brilliant ball control. I said, was it Tamori is one of the bargains on the game? He's another one. He's only 28, so he's got years left to go. You could sign him for about 12 million. It says 12.1 to 15. I think I got him on one of mine for 12 million. He does the job, honestly. He's quick, very skillful. Can get some goals considering his finishing's quite low, which is weird because he scored quite a few goals when I had him. Top player. Now for the right mid. And I know what you're thinking, really? Greenwood, really? Yes, really. And I'm going to tell you why this guy's a bargain. Remember, these are all players that can go straight into your team. 77 overall, so he can go straight into your team. Weak foot, he could use either foot. Doesn't matter. Attacking wise, look at that work rate. 18 years of age. Only going to get better. He's guaranteed 88 potential. I've had him and I've got him into the 90s potential. His speed isn't bad. It's not rapid, but honestly, 18, you can get that up. You can get his sprint speed up to into the 90s. You can get his acceleration into the 90s. He's a bargain, people, because he goes straight into your team now, and on top of that, yes, you might have to spend 25 to 30 million for him, which is quite a lot, I admit, but in the long run, worth it, a million times worth it. You're spending, let's say 30 million, let's say you go big, 30 million on him. He can go straight into your team now, and in a few seasons he'll be in the 90s over rating. If you keep playing him, keep developing, you can get him into the 90s on ratings. Trust me, I've done it. You can do it. And investment wise, it's brilliant. You spend about 30 million now when he's an 18-year-old. When he gets to the age of like 21, 22, he's worth it, like more than 200 million. That is why he's a bargain. Not just because his stats are brilliant now. For an 18-year-old, 77 rating, his stats are very good. Let's be honest. Even as a 77 rating, his stats are still quite good now. They are only going to get better, and the more you play him, the better he gets. And honestly, he goes up to a value of 200 million plus. But he can play for your team now, which is the whole point of all these players. They go into your squads, into your teams straight away. These are players you can buy and play straight away. He is one of those. But what makes him the bargain, on top of all of that, is how good he will become. He's already a good enough player to play, and he's going to be one of the best players on the game eventually. Trust me, if you've got 30 million, around 30 million, worth every penny. Now to the strikers. Jonathan Rodriguez. I'm assuming a lot of you don't know who he is. Plays for Cruz Azul in Mexico. 78 overall. Only 27, so many years left to go. His work rate is very good. And if you want a pacey striker, he is the guy to go for. I mean, 90 acceleration, 84 sprint speed. Already very quick. He's pretty strong as well. His stamina's very good. He can control the ball, can dribble with the ball, and he can finish. So if you want a pacey striker, he's going to run between the lines, pick up the ball and bury it, he's the guy to go for. And he's only 15 million, which I think is brilliant for a player that can do what he does, has the pace he does, can finish like he does. I think that's very good. He is a player to look at and buy, in my opinion, especially at that price. Only 78 overall, and you look at those stats, you wouldn't think he's 78 overall really. A few things are a bit low, like his jumping and aggression's a bit low. Composure for a striker sadly is a bit low, but overall everything is up there. He's a finisher and he's got so much pace. Troy Deeney, another striker. He is one of the bargains of the game because of his price, and I'll get to that in a second. Honestly, the price of this guy, bargain. He's a very good player on the game anyway, which is great, but he's one of the bargains of the game because of his price. Pretty much nothing else. But look at that strength. If you want a player that can hold it up, you want him. I mean, everybody watches the Premier League, let's be honest. Everybody knows of Troy Deeney by now, I'm assuming. So you know what kind of player he's like, you know what the kind of stats he's possibly going to have. And these are good stats. His finishing's not bad, he can head a ball. You stick a ball in the box with that strength and that jumping, he's going to win a lot of those headers. So if you want a target man, you want Troy Deeney. Alright, he's 32, sadly. He's still got a few years in him, let's be honest. 76 overall with those stats, with that strength, with that attacking positioning, and that price. What a bargain. And that's not all, he's got 12 months left on his contract. You could sign Troy Deeney for like £4 million, or €4 million, whatever you're using. He is a bargain. 5.5 million alone for Troy Deeney is a bargain. He's got 12 months on his contract. You can get him even cheaper than that. And look his wage, because now he's on the Championship and they can't set the wages too high on the game, otherwise it wouldn't work out. His wages are only 18.5k. He would pretty much go into any team, and on top of that, top team, top 6 team, top 4 team, whatever, backup. You're winning 3-0, whatever, you want a player to hold it up at top, Troy Deeney, and you can get him for 4 million. He's a bargain, as I keep saying, because of that price. 5.5 million for Troy Deeney is a bargain, especially with those stats. In my opinion, I have saved the best till last. Cedric Bakambu. Honestly, bargain of the game. But more than Tomori, more than Deeney, more than Teo, more than Greenwood, bargain of the game. Honestly. Why? This guy's a powerhouse. Look at those stats. He's only 29 as well, so you're going to get 3 or 4 seasons out of this guy. 80 overall. Rapid. Absolutely rapid. Look at the strength. Look at the pace. Jumping, positioning. Powerhouse. Absolute powerhouse, this guy. And on top of that, he can score goals. Finishing 84. Ball control to go with it. Dribbling to go with it. His heading's a bit low, but not too bad either. He can pass. Shot power. This guy is the bargain of the game. Like I said, only 29, 80 overall. You've got a few seasons to go out of him. Keep playing him. He's not going to drop down too low. Absolutely rapid. Fairly tall. Only 19 million. Only 19 million. And another guy that's got 12 months left on his contract. You can get this guy for 16 million or 16, 17 million. His wage is only 26.5. He is a powerhouse of a striker who scores goals. Honestly, he's the bargain of the game. I'm not even joking. In my opinion, he's the bargain of the game. With that pace, with that power, with that finishing, and that price, with 12 months left on his contract, and that wage, bargain. Absolute bargain. You, like I said, you can get him for 16, 17 million easily because he's got 12 months left on his contract. As you can see, Villarreal are going in for him. Don't blame them. I would. 19 million for a man that is that quick, that strong. I mean, look at those stats. None of them they're all in green except for interceptions, but that's because he's a striker. Look, all in green except for long passing. Who cares? Striker. Free kicks. Who cares? Striker. Tackling. Who cares? Striker. Defensive awareness. Who cares? Striker. All in green except for the stuff that no one cares about because he's a striker. And not just in green, the high ends of the green. I cannot express enough. This guy is the bargain of the game. You might think, oh, he's 29 though. So you keep playing him, you're going to get 3 or 4, maybe 5 seasons out of him. He's not going to lose that much pace because you keep playing him. He's going to score you goals because he's got 84 finishing. And you think, oh, 19 million's a bit... 19 million for a player with those stats is not high at all. Absolute bargain of the game. Honestly, guys, I cannot express enough how much he's worth buying. Bargain of the game.